Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest, and today I am checking out from Shiseido the Revitaleссence Skin Glow Foundation. Retails for $56 for 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters of product. Comes in 30 different shades. I've got this in the 6th lightest shade, which is 150 Lace, described as rose tone for fair skin. This is described as a skincare active foundation that provides buildable medium coverage and visibly improves bare skin in 1 week. Revealing healthy glowing skin. Medium coverage, radiant finish, SPF 30. I did look at the SPF. It's octinoxate chemical sunscreen. It's got fermented kefir plus a prebiotic that fuels the ability to maintain a healthy microbiome. Prebiotics are like what all the bacteria and whatnot, all the good bacteria eat. So, okay. Niacinamide, a form of vitamin B that visibly smooths and brightens skin. Makeup micro capsules suspended in skincare essence. That's a lot of words that don't mean a whole lot. Delivers skincare actives to the skin. Okay. It's free of parabens, formaldehyde, phthalates, mineral oil, retinol palmate, oxybenzone, coal tar. Oh, there's a list of things it does not have. It's a serum-like foundation, lasts up to 12 hours, blurs pores, hydrates even skin. Okay, so I looked through the ingredients. One note of concern is that denatured alcohol is very high up on the ingredient list. However, if you're not sensitive to denatured alcohol, the thing is denatured alcohol can be drying to the skin. It's often used as a cheap filler in less expensive products. I would hope at this price point what they've done is used it for its intended purpose, which is so that the foundation can dry down quickly and you don't get stuck with it being sticky for 20 minutes, sort of a thing. If they formulate it correctly, you can have ingredients that balance out the potential moisture loss from the drying nature of denatured alcohol, replenished with the other ingredients in the product, and that would be a product that has denatured alcohol but is not drying on the skin. Hopefully that's the case here. Now I did look, and they've sandwiched the denatured alcohol in between glycerin and castor oil, which is hopefully a good thing. Probably means they paid attention to the formulation. We will find out. Because if any skin's going to get dry, it's going to be this skin. So I'm a good test for that. It also, I did not see added fragrance in the ingredients. However, it does have a bunch of natural extracts, which some people are sensitive to. The thing with the word fragrance is like, that's that mystery fragrance word when they're adding, fragrance oils and things that are just intended for fragrance. But a lot of ingredients have a scent to them. So that's not to say that the extracts that they've used haven't been used for the purpose of putting scent into the product, but it's not a mystery fragrance, so to speak. So, all that being said, let's take a look at shade 150 Lace, swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Shiseido, the Revitaleссence Skin Glow Foundation in shade 150 Lace. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. And last, I've got from Wet n Wild, the Tinted Hydrator in Fair. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 49-year-old face, even though this is SPF 30. I never use foundation as my primary SPF 30. Just don't apply enough of it to get the full SPF stated coverage. I'll go in on one side of my face with a damp sponge. Other side, I will use my BK Beauty 101. Oh, I did not prime. Let's prime. My dirty jar. It's my handmade bakuchiol cream. I've got it on my website. I made it as a lotion, but it's got that nice dry sort of the texture I like for a primer. So I've been using it as a primer instead. I love it. Props to me. Shout out to myself. Took me a while to get it to where I liked it for the texture. But now that I'm there, I'm in love. I'm in love. Alright. Let's always take how you get lotion like stuck in the middle of your fingers and stuff? Take it onto the backs of your hands. Your hands will show aging too. Give that, don't waste that. Don't just wipe it off onto a tablecloth. What? Towel. Oh, y'all, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. I'm filming this on a Sunday. I'm not ready for Monday. I'm not ready at all. Let's remedy this with some caffeine. Alright, let's take a look at this puppy. I always love their packaging. It always is nice luxe feeling. Let's see what the consistency looks like. Ooh, I might have too much here, but we'll see. Looks a little liquidy. Yep, here we go. Looks like, wow, for this being the 6th lightest shade, I was really concerned I was going to end up too light on the shades, and I still might have ended up too light. I probably did. So, Shiseido, bringing it for the fair-skinned peeps. Ooh. It doesn't have added fragrance, but it's got a scent to it. It's, on the edge of fruity. It's not super strong, but if I notice it, it's probably pretty noticeable. Because scents don't bother me. It's not that I can't smell things. It's just that I don't have a sensitive nose in the sense that it bugs me. Scents just don't usually bother me. But I noticed that one. Not in a bad way, but I noticed it. Maybe it's not the wrong shade. Interesting. For sponge application and for such a lightweight formula, I'm kind of surprised at the redness correction and the decent bit of coverage. It's still light coverage if you ask me. But it's not completely sheer. There's a little bit of hiding some of my sunspots. It's not medium yet. We'll see if it's buildable. They claim medium coverage, but you know, that's a subjective definition. And what some companies call medium, I would definitely call light. I will say, while this is a lighter shade of foundation, this undertone is nice. I'm liking this undertone. It does feel too light for me, though. I don't know if I'll be able to pull this off if I get any bit of sun. I wear sunscreen every day, but I still end up, you know, a half shade darker by the end of the season. Probably due to less than optimal sunscreen reapplication habits. I do reapply sunscreen, but probably not as often as I should. This is a very pretty finish. I will give it that. Like, it is, they called it radiance, and I'm going to say, yeah, it's radiant. It's like, it's dewy, but in a good way. In a, feels like my skin is all nicely plumped up and happy kind of a way. My nose is a little peely today, so we'll see how it handles that. I'm not seeing any clinging so far, but I am a little peely on my nose, so we'll see how that goes. I still have a bunch of product left on here. Let's try and build it up a little bit. Let's try to get the sunspots built up. It's definitely a serum texture. I think this would be a very nice foundation to apply with fingertips, just a quick, you know, out the door kind of application. It just has that really nice, quick, I'm tempted to just wipe it in with my fingers because it just feels, it's the kind of foundation that feels nice on the skin when you rub it in. But I will stick with the brush. I do think I prefer the brush for this one, just to get that little bit more coverage. But I think it looks fine with the sponge. If you're a sponge person or you're going for a more sheer look, by all means, have at it. I have a cat hair stuck on my face. There we go. Yeah, definitely dewy finish. Definitely got a dewy finish happening here. I'm probably going to go in with concealer, just because I feel like this one's not quite enough coverage to wear as concealer. But it does build it. Look at they're barely visible now. It built up. Okay, okay. I was not expecting much building for as serum-y as this feels. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. All right, let me zoom you guys in. Let's take a look at this one. Definitely buildable. I cannot tell any like lines of demarcation where it was built up, so it builds up cleanly and smoothly. It is doing some blurring of pores. Sometimes a dewy finish can actually make pores look more obvious, and in this case I don't think that's a problem. Same with texture. Sometimes a dewy finish is gonna reflect some of the, you know, bumps and ridges and valleys of texture, but this is not really doing that. It's nicely smoothing. My nose looks fine even though it's peely, and you can't really even see that it's peely. That's kind of impressive. It's not clinging to any dry skin between my eyebrows. It looks smooth on my forehead. Nothing appears to be settling anywhere at this point. We'll see how that goes. It's almost too dewy. We're gonna have to see if this settles down as I like get the rest of my makeup on, because it is quite dewy. We'll see if it dries down. This is probably why the denatured alcohol is so high in the list, because it's not dried down yet, and some foundations do dry down faster than this. My hope is that this is such a hydrating formula that they needed the denatured alcohol up there to get it to dry down, so that you don't have to powder it and because that's the thing. If it doesn't dry down, it's going to be a situation where you need powder. And dry-skinned people don't always want powder. In fact, I rarely powder my face. I will say I have been powdering more often since Jones Road came out with their powder, because their powder is gorgeous. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's check the time. What time is it? It is 12:22. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Shiseido Revitalescence Skin Glow. It is beautiful. Now, I did end up setting it with the Jones Road, what do they call this? Tinted face powder. I use the pink one. Fair pink, what do they call it? Pink, rose. I use the pink one because it's beautiful for fair skin. But I did end up setting it to take down the little bit of tackiness that remained, and since I set it, it's not sticky, not tacky, it's perfectly fine. I'm not sure that would have been the case, because I gave it a couple minutes after I turned off the camera, and I was like, this is not setting down, and I didn't want to have trouble blending my blush bronzer on there, so I did set it with powder. But as you see, it did not take down that glowy look. So that is good. If you like the glowy look, it's still maintaining the glowy look, which is good in my opinion. Bronzer is the Balm Desert. Lawless, I'm back on the Juicy Watermelon. I can't help myself. It's like, in the pan, it is like this bright pink that I would never think that I would like, and on my face, I love it so much. I had gotten myself out of it for a minute, but now I'm right back in it. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm sorry. What's up, beauty? Serengeti highlight. Again, I can't help myself. Probably don't need a highlight with how dewy this foundation is, but I have to. I have to. My eyes are from this month's Ipsy. There we go. Chica Beauty. The Fiesta Mini Eyeshadow Palette. Lovely neutrals with some pops color. That's what's going on my eyes. I am wearing the brand new Color Street Gel Eyeliner in my tight line. Another thing for my Ipsy, I am wearing the Lava Los Angeles No Chill Brown Mascara. That's new for me. I don't think I've ever worn a brown mascara before in my life. And my lip, how did I already lose it? From Buxom. What is the name of this thing? It is the Plump Shot Sheer Tint Collagen Infused Lip Serum. But it has an impressive amount of color for what they describe as a serum. It feels like a serum. It is still lip plumping. You know, if you're familiar with Buxom, they're not messing around. You get that little tingly vibe, that little buzzy buzz going on. What is the name of the shade on this one? I need Sherlock. Dolly Babe. I like it. Perfect neutral. It's not leaning warm. It's not leaning cool. It's just right. You can wear it warm or cool. Like, this is a slightly leaning cool look with the colors I picked, and it's still working, and I like it. I love Buxom lip products. They make my favorite lip plumping stuff, but if you don't like that buzzy buzz, it's not painful or uncomfortable. It's just noticeable. It's there. It's there. So that is where we are starting out. Yeah. Not gonna get a sandwich because I'm filming this on Easter, but there's no point in me saying Happy Easter because by the time you see this, we're gonna be in the middle of April. I hope you had a Happy Easter if you celebrate. I'm not doing any celebrating. Quiet day today. But, yeah, so nothing's open. So I'm not going to go get a sandwich. I will come back and give you a daylight check-in in a bit. My plan for today, I gotta make some more t-shirts. I got some tie-dyes to rinse out that I made last night. I have some transfers. I want some DTF transfers I'm going to print out and press today. I have a big t-shirt vendor event coming up, so I'm gonna get ready for that. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'll be back in a bit with a daylight check-in, then I will come back tonight to give you guys my final thoughts. It is 4:45 p.m. Here is our daylight check-in. It was raining, and it looks like the sun is now trying to come out. Very dewy finish. Now, I was a little sweaty running my heat press, and so seems to be holding up. What do you think? Doesn't look as light as I thought. It looks light when you apply it, but I don't feel like it's too light for me. Interesting. I also just found some new flowers in my yard that I don't think were there the last 5 years. So here you go. I can't remember what time we started this. Was it like noon? Can't remember. So what? We're about halfway through the day. All right, I'll be back tonight. We'll see how it goes. 10:44 p.m. That puts us, I don't know, I'm guessing somewhere around the 10-hour mark. I cannot remember what time we started. Let's take a look at how the Shiseido Revitalescence Skin Glow Foundation held up. I think it still looks quite nice, and I have been running around and sweating and busy and all kinds of things today, and I think it held up really well. I think it's super comfortable, super lightweight, super hydrating. The dewy finish stuck around. It's probably a little more dewy. We're probably back to like what it looked like before I powdered. My allergy medicine gave out on me around 9 p.m., at which point I blew my nose about 8,642 times. So we'll have to take that into account. Not the fault of the foundation, but actually it degraded fairly gracefully considering how many times I had to blow my nose. So let's zoom in so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Roll that beautiful bean footage. So blush, bronzer, highlight still look practically brand new. It has broken up a little bit on my chin. Ignore the nose, of course, as I said. There's no settling into lines, no settling into pores, none of that going on. Ziva, please stop. Please stop. She's digging in my Ipsy box. And yeah, let me take a look at my forehead real quick. Not really settling into any lines there. I did blot my forehead at one point this afternoon when I was sweating. I might see a little bit of how I pressed onto my forehead, but nothing really moved around. Nothing is caked up. Nothing's messy. It's degrading gracefully, and it's not even too far degraded considering how long it's been. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I think the finish is beautiful. If you like a dewy finish, this is a beautiful dewy finish. Doesn't accentuate texture, doesn't accentuate lines, doesn't settle, move around. It's really nice. I do think setting it with powder was necessary, but I thought it looked perfectly fine with the powder. It was just more dewy without it, and I feel like it wouldn't have set down fast enough for my liking without the powder. So if I had to give a grade to the Shiseido Revitalescence Skin Glow, It's an A in my book. I think it's really, really pretty. If you have dry skin and you like a dewy finish, I think you will enjoy this one. I think it's fine for maturing skin. I can't really speak to oily skin because I've never had oily skin in my whole life, regardless of the fact that I used Seabreeze as a kid and thought that I needed to. Yeah, that stuff burned. Burned my dry face. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it, Picasso. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, please give me a thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments. What should I pick up next? I keep a running list. I buy them whenever I can. Hit me up over on Patreon. I also share some behind the scenes stuff and like when I find good sales and things like that over there. All the socials. I'm primarily on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have a Threads account, but I don't check it very often. Well, I mean, I look at it, but I don't post on it. I don't know. I'm trying to get more consistent. But then work takes over. The hardest part of having a full-time job and trying to run these side gigs is like, I had a very productive weekend. I'm exhausted now, just in time to go back to work on Monday. So it's like it never ends. Never ends, but it's all good because we got a winner right here. As always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.